Are we live? I think we're live.
We're live.
Yay!
We're live. Hello.
We're
Lunch and
live. What do
learn.
good people? Welcome to Lunch and Learn. Can you believe that Nyaki and I are in the same city, but we're not together?
We are kilometers apart.
Still, so many kilometers apart. Oh,
So
Nyaki. I don't get
far.
my
So far. Your
one
network,
hug per visit.
yeah, your network is nonsense in the city. Even my husband was just complaining. So apparently there's like a specific place in the house that gets network. But anyway, hi everybody. I can't see the comments, Kopano, so I can't see what people are saying. But if you are catching the replay while we're waiting for people to join, welcome to Lunch and Learn. This is our lunchtime live. We go live every Friday. And you get to learn from us how we get to learn from other people, and you get to learn from other people, and we get to learn from you guys about your experiences about running a business. Today is the last day of our coaching season or session, and we are talking for the past month of February. We've been talking to coaches of all kinds, and their views, their experiences just in the coaching space. I don't know if we're going to do this one again, Kopano, because I feel like coaches were a really good person, because the girls love the coaches. Like, we get to learn from people. We had a person, we had we had Saf, who was doing like boundary coaching. We had Bulelo last week, who was just praying and interceding on our behalf, like just telling us just alignment. I don't know what coaching that was, but it was just intercessions. And then we had Mutabi and Sibu also. That was a banger of an episode. And now I can't remember the first session that we had with Rory Sang, also telling us she's too scared to be broke. Guys, yeah, no, we've been doing a lot of things. But anyway, we go live every Friday at 1 o'clock, and today we've got an amazing human being that's going to be coming today, closing off our coaching series. She's going to introduce herself, and Kopano's going to tell you guys a little bit about her. But before we bring her on, please can you guys let us know if you are joining us, where you're joining us from, and also like how have you found this series, if you've been following along, and if this is the first time you see us, and this is the first time you see these yellow bones on the internet, just tell us who you are so we can introduce you and so we can say hi. We absolutely love meeting new faces. We are live currently on Facebook. We are currently live on YouTube. We are currently live on LinkedIn. We absolutely love the girls on LinkedIn. Hey guys, people are busy at work. They're just here to LinkedIn watching us. We are live on Instagram, and we are obviously live inside our community. And so if you are like, wanting to learn, wanting to connect with us, obviously you can watch this and watch the replay, but you can also join us in our community, ClubSheIs.com or ClubSheIs community, if you are looking for any of that information. Kopano.
Yeah, so we've actually had a number of people speak about parenting coach, being parenting coaches and how that goes. And we actually had the pleasure of working with a parenting coach who's absolutely amazing, who's our guest for today for Lunch and Learn. And I think that when it comes to matters of touchiness, you know what I'm looking for? I'm looking to talk to a relationship coach, because number one, y'all make money. Dating coaches. Dating coaches. Oh my gosh. I actually know a dating coach who started like a YouTube channel around about the same time I started one. She's on millions now. She coaches men.
So this is not a dating one. This is not a dating one, but I did see a video. I wanted to share. No. I've got a funny story, but this is like very left segment. So I saw this lady. She's a Ugandan lady. She's on a podcast, and she's like, her goal is to beat 1,000 men.
I saw that.
Did you see that? Her business plan, she makes money, guys. When you guys say you don't have money, I'm looking at you, watching, wondering what's happening. But anyway, her business is that she gets women to DM her, like people will message her if their husbands or boyfriends or partners are straying, and she just goes and finds them where they are, where they're in the shebeen. She goes and shambokes them. And she says she goes and traps people. So while you're talking about relationship coaching, I'm thinking, yeah, we also need like those disciplinary. You know, when she says, yeah, we just get them in line. We just get the men in line by beating them. I don't know how beating helps you when you domestic violencing someone and then they come domestic violence you. Maybe it's so
In
similar. I
return.
don't know. But what I loved about that story and why I'm bringing it up is because it kind of speaks to like discipline, sort of. And that's kind of like, I don't know how relationships and parenting go together, but
Yeah, Nyaki.
it's yeah, it's just
That's when you
yeah.
know, like, does somebody have a child? Like, no. Nyaki's just like discipline and hiring someone to beat up somebody. Nyaki, I don't know where the
I
connection
think I would
lies.
outsource that. I would outsource beating. But anyway, that's not the point of today. Today we're having not a relationship coach. We're having a parenting coach. And because I am not a parent, I'm going to promptly vacate the facilities and give it up for our coach.
So our coach today is Mme Tumelo Leene. She is absolutely amazing. She is from Botswana and she works in Botswana and South Africa. And what I absolutely love about Mme Tumelo is her journey that she went around in order to find her true audience. She always knew who she wanted to, the problem she wanted to speak to. But when we started working with Mme Tumelo, it was a thing of, who am I selling to, the parents, or am I talking to the kids? Like, who am I actually selling to? And as a club, we actually thought, okay, let's target the parents. They're the ones with the money. And as the journey of coaching evolved, what you tend to realize is, what do people actually want? What do they call their problem? How do they talk about the thing that they are suffering from? And I think that's the beauty of it. That's why they say that don't fall in love with your product. It's about falling in love with the problem so that you can find the right way to solve it. Because the way we think we need to solve the problem, especially as coaches, is not always on the money. It's not always on the money. And that's why we get guidance, but that's why we also have to just fall in love with solving the real problem, being there for the real thing, remembering the reason why. I mean, Nyaki, for us, with the changing world of AI, we said, okay, we are tech girlies. We can't only just stick to automations. As AI is growing, we're just like, what's the problem we want to solve? We want to help women create more capacity by having systems and automations and using AI in order to create those things. So we have to learn. We have to learn and fall in love with, we want to help women grow in their businesses. If it means that the industry is changing and we have to learn with the industry, we are there, right? And that's the beauty of coaching. So I think one of the big lessons that we will be getting from today is really that conversation about that learning to really adapt and learning to really put first things first in your business, and being able to find the thing that you really love in your audience. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce our guest for today. Coming in wearing white, all the way from Botswana, raining in Bolas everywhere.
Yeah, what a
How
show.
are you?
Kopano, switch screens on the YouTube. Yeah, perfect.
I'm good and I'm so happy to be here this afternoon. And thank you so much for this opportunity, for trusting me with your community.
No, only a pleasure. I think we've worked with you. We know the type of person that you are, and we love seeing people succeed. Funny enough, our journey started in one direction, ended in a completely different way, and then you were able to find your path in coaching. And we can't wait to actually unpack that story. So we have people who are joining us from YouTube and from LinkedIn. We have Mudupe joining us from LinkedIn, joining from LinkedIn. The Google Meets link didn't open. Oh no! Oh no. We'll have to sort that out. Then hi BB. Joining from Port Elizabeth. I have just started watching. I love last week's session, and her title is Your Motivational Coach. So hello, B.
Bibi
So
must DM us. Bibi, what kind of coach are you? Let us know. We want to know. We want to talk to coaches.
we do actually love this coaching topic. And in the new month, we're actually talking about beyond coaching. We're actually talking about people who've gone into the public space of coaching, books and being on TV and doing all of those things where now you're just like, going breaking the normal barriers of what we think coaching is. But we have Mme Tumelo with us today. And I really want to start from when we first met. You came to us and said, guys, I want to grow my coaching business. And I want to know from you, what inspired you to say, I'm going to take my coaching business seriously, and I'm actually going to invest in it? What was happening in your mind and in your life at that time when you made that decision that, you know what, I'm actually going to lean into this coaching business?
Okay, so I don't know whether you're going to introduce me or we are done.
I'm going to go into it in a sly way after this question.
Okay, all right. And the reason why I'm asking is because I'm going to talk about my life as a retired chartered accountant. You know, I was in the chartered accountancy space or in the corporate space. And then I found myself in this place where I am now so passionate about helping parents raise their children, particularly their teenagers. So, and I'm like, okay, because when I moved from corporate to coaching, I didn't even know what I was doing. I was like clueless. It was something that I believe God put me in without guidance, without direction, without, the map. So I started following, learning from people, going on YouTube, going there and there, and I would see courses and everything, and I would enroll. I used to tell you that I've been to hell and back with this coaching business until I eventually found you, because I was like, okay, I think the people that I've been listening to are people who are like from the US, the UK, and I'm happy that I'm seeing people who are like next door to my house, who will speak the language. I think even culturally and everything, we are aligned. So that is what inspired me to, like take my business to a higher level. And I really want to make money out of what I do. The Bible says your gift will make room for you, because I'm like, God, you can't take me from a job that was paying me so well to come and serve you, and there's nothing for me to get out of it.
I think that's the thing we often need to talk about is, if you genuinely have passion for this thing that you're doing, and now you must make money out of this thing as well. Like you said, you come from a world of being a CA, which is a lucrative career. And then you were interrupted by coaching. So far, every single person that has been a coach didn't wake up in the morning and say, I want to be a coach. It's something that happened to them. Coaching happened to you. Can you describe how parenting coaching actually was a thing that really landed on your heart? Because it could have been anything. You could have been any type of coach, but now you're a parenting coach. What was happening in your life, and how did coaching come into your world?
Okay, firstly, I'm a mother of 4 boys, 23, 20, 15, and 12. Okay. But I never knew anything about the importance of parenting. I was just doing parenting on autopilot like anybody else, right? And using the manual that our parents gave us, the manual, this is how you do this to your child. And I was just following that. And it was not an issue of whether it's working or not. It was just happening, right?
You're just going.
We're just going. Until one day we had a house break. People came into our house, and there were two gentlemen. And to cut the long story short, when they were busy moving around the house, I went into a trance. And in this trance, I see these young men as babies whom their parents have just given birth to. And they knew nothing. They were just born, and they were just clueless. They were just depending on their parents for every single thing. And then these parents teach them everything that these children know. Like when an elderly person gives you something, you take with both hands. When somebody says to you, this is how you respond, they even teach them the language that they speak. They rely on the parents even for feeding and everything. Now, the question that dawned on me was how did they get here? If at all they just believed and relied on the parent for everything. Now, what happened? How did they get into my house to now start, taking things from us by force? So that is when the message came to me that, how it is we raise our children has an impact on how they turn out to be. So that was kind of how my calling, because I believe it's a calling, that is how it began.
You reminded me of this story. So there's a story of this mugshot of this guy. He was in orange. He was going to trial. Just a ruthless killer, legit. He was going to trial because he was an absolute ruthless killer, and his mugshot went viral because he was beautiful, blue eyes, and he's a brown man, and he's just a beautiful specimen, right? Good body, everything. And this guy later on, he went viral because women are just like, what a beautiful man in a mugshot. Later on, he wrote a poem, or he wrote a letter to his mom saying, thank you, mom. Saying, thank you, mom, for, letting me get away with stealing the small thing. Thank you for letting me get away, always fighting for me, even when I was wrong. And basically the letter said, you taught me my first role of being a criminal. And for me, I was like, yo, what a letter. And when you're speaking, it literally reminds me of that, because he was saying that the first time I learned that I don't have to take accountability for doing things wrong, first time I learned that I can get away with murder was because of you. Because even when I was wrong, you still rewarded me. And that letter for me is one of the reasons why I believe in just punishment for my kids. When they do something wrong, there must be something that happens to a point where we have conversations, especially boys. Oh my gosh, boys will push the limit. You, to a point where it's just like, what did I ask you to do? You asked me to do this. What did you do? I did the opposite thing. So what must I do now? They understand that if you do something wrong, there must be a result of the thing that you did wrong.
There's a consequence.
There's a consequence to it, right?
I think the word punishment seems very harsh.
It does.
Not about punishment, it's about a consequence. That everything, what we need to teach our children is that everything that you do has a consequence, whether it's good or bad. So you can't escape the consequence. It's just nature.
It's so interesting. Where were your boys when this was happening, when the house break-in happened?
In the room. Everyone, they put one of us in the same room. Yeah. But when they left, we prayed and we said, God, you know what? Jesus Christ said, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing. So, it's amazing. And I'm always grateful for that moment because it really took out something in me. And now I even parent my boys better. I try.
That's amazing. The moment when coaching confronts you, and that's why it is a calling. There's a calling to say that, I will coach people in this thing. And it's interesting that it wasn't your boys that inspired you. It was other men who inspired you to say they were teens, they were kids once. And at some point, guidance was needed. So then now you have this vision, you have this idea that, okay, cool, I'm going to start coaching. What did you do next?
Okay, now because I'm listening to everybody else who's in the coaching industry, what, and they say there's a niche, what, and then I'm like, okay, what's my niche? And then I'm like, okay, parenting is broad. Now, how do I niche it down to something very specific? And I'm like, okay, I'm going to coach parents of teens. That's where it all began. I'm like, okay, I'm going to focus on helping parents of teens. Parents, not teens, parents of teens. Because the message came clearly to me, how we parent our children has an impact on how they turn out to be. So the assignment for me was to help parents raise their children well. Yeah.
So now, today, Jiggy, you're parenting teens. What happened in between you? You had a clear thing that I'm going to coach parents. How did you end up coaching the teens?
Okay. So you know very well, Kopano and Nyaki, that when I came to you, it was like parents. We did those understanding the teenage brain, what. And we're seeing crickets, and then I'm like, these people, even my interaction with parents, you will talk to parents and they hear you, but they will always tell you, my child is the problem. I had like programs that I designed for parents. I actually even had a membership that I did. I had 11 parents who enrolled in that membership. We went on, I think for about a year, we were meeting once a week. But now when I want to now do the same thing, hoping that because I have tested this, now it should work, nothing. And then parents, every time I talk to them, they tell me about their kids. And I realized that there's a need. Actually, there's no doubt that there's a problem with the way children are raised. And children are raised by parents. So the problem is there, and the problem is with parents, right? But are parents ready for the solution? I realized that no. This is a real problem, yes, but the people are not ready for the solution. For them, the problem is the kids. So am I going to be now saying to parents, hey, you are the problem, where is it going to get me? Let me talk to parents through what they see as a problem. So that is where the shift came in, to say, okay, if they say that the kids are the problem, let me talk to the same parents, but now through the teenagers. Because teenagers are not my customers. My customers are still the parents. Okay? I still talk to parents to sell my products to who? The parents. Even when I target and everything, I talk to the parents. When I do corporate visits, I go to the parents, not the teens. So I haven't shifted. I just changed a few things here and there. Understanding that where is the problem? Where are my customers at? Are they solution ready for what I see as a solution? No. So let me solve the problem that we have, not the problem that I think we have.
One of my coaches says, people want hot dogs, but what they need is broccoli.
Yeah.
So you have to serve them broccoli that looks like a hot dog. You have to find a way to get to them. And it's such an interesting thing that you say, parents are my customers. I'm still helping the parents, but my product I'm actually talking to and serving the teens. So when this mindset shift of yours happened, what was the first thing that you did, and how did the market respond to you making that switch?
Okay. Well, what I did then, I designed something for teenagers, right? And my intention was that, okay, here are the poor teenagers whose parents don't want to take responsibility and accountability for them. Now, how can I empower these teenagers, to really take ownership of their lives and, and take their lives some way, taking responsibility, accountability, making the right choices so that they themselves, despite what their parents are giving to them, despite how their parents are raising them, they can say, you know what, this is me, this is who I am, and this is where it is I want to go. Right? And now, even when I was also listening to the parents, hey, my child is this and that and that and that and that and that, right? So I designed a program that addresses the issues that parents are complaining about, right? And then I say to parents, I know you are too busy. You have to pay school fees, you have to, feed the children, you have to clothe them. So go and get busy, okay? So that I can take care of the side of parenting that you don't have time for. So that's how I take it to the parents. Because yeah, go ahead.
What made you not give up though? Because I mean, if it's you want to coach the parents keep saying the children are the problem. What made you had two choices: to keep hitting at this thing saying no, parents, it's not the children, it's you, it's not the children, it's you, versus quitting. Why didn't you quit, or why didn't you keep hitting? What made you decide to make the switch?
Because it has to work. It has to work. It's an assignment that I have to do. I'm here on assignment and it has to work. I just need to see how I maneuver through it. Malachi chapter 4, verse 6 or verse 5, just starting from verse 5, it says, I'll send prophet Elijah, who will turn the hearts of the sons to the fathers, and the hearts of the hearts of the fathers to the sons, and the hearts of the sons to the fathers. And the last part says, lest I come and bring a curse. So I'm saying here, I'm worried the curse is coming if this union is not going to happen. You see, so I can't give up. And even with the parents, I know, because where I'm at right now, I'm slowly proving the parents in. So I've been running cohorts, and in this cohort that is graduating on the 7th, next week Saturday, I have included a workshop for parents.
Nice.
Yeah. So my business partner, the Holy Spirit, keeps giving me ideas of, okay, now this is how you can do it.
Nice. So you are eventually getting to the people that you wanted, but do you find that the detour was also a blessing?
Yeah, it was. It was a blessing because it got me to understand firsthand, other than my own children, what teenagers are really, really going through. Even when I now come to parents to talk to parents about that, it's not something that I envision, it's something that I've experienced with the teens themselves. This is what your children are saying, not my children, their children.
So it has informed even the way that you're approaching the parents. If you hadn't
Yeah.
taken this detour, there's things that you wouldn't have learned in the
Absolutely.
first place. And I think that's the thing that we often struggle with, is that it's not a denial. It's actually that detour is actually to teach you, to give you more, to give you perspective, and to help you actually have a better product at the end of the day.
Yeah. And even where it is right now, Kopano, it's not it. It's still going to be refined. It's still going to be refined as the world continues to change, as things continue to change. So we must not, we must be okay with having what we have and understanding that it will change at some point. So what we have is not the final thing. We are just in transition. We are just growing towards something.
I can imagine now we have B, who's on YouTube with us. She says she's a confidence and identity transformation coach and the founder of She Workshop, with partner with Alethea, I think, a community of ambitious women ready to rise. I think when you talk about transformation, as a coach, I think you're a catalyst of change for a period of time, and then people continue to change and evolve even after you've worked with them. Especially parents and teens. I've seen you speak a lot about the graduation ceremonies of the teens that you work with, and it even makes you smile thinking about it. I think the transformation is what feeds us as coaches. Is when we see the transformation, we're just like, yo, okay, all the hard work selling, all of the hard work going through this thing, it's actually worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. Because when you do something not for money, we love the money, it's good, but you really want to see what you are doing have an impact on somebody else's life. And that is what puts a smile on your face. When I started, I think you asked this earlier, that how did I do it? I actually had, I think, about four parents who were paying for their teens, in the coaching cohort that I have. And I took a lot of coaches, teenagers from elsewhere, just so that they can fill up the cohort. And then we did the graduation. If I can tell you what those teenagers were saying, transformation is hard to happen over 8 weeks, right? But what is the most important is the seed that you have planted. Even right now, I still get calls from parents to say, yo, Mme Tumelo, thank you so much. This is what my son is doing. There's one particular child who could not, he told me that I have social anxiety and I can't speak in public, because one of the requirements is that at the graduation, everybody must speak about what they have experienced, what they have learned, the awareness that has come to them over the 8 weeks period, right? And he was like, ma'am, I'm next, but I can't. We even had to pray together. And I said to him, you know what, I'm going to cheer you on. And he went and spoke so well. Right now, even at school, he volunteers to speak at assembly. he's just a speaker. That thing is out of him now, that demon.
I love that. I love that. Yes, that is true. The transformation is way past our sessions. Enjoying this so much. Mme Tumelo, what has been your biggest challenge in your how long has it been since you started coaching?
20 words, because I was like in the school for a long time without really getting clients. I think I started getting clients 2024. Yeah. So what has been my biggest challenge? I think it is wanting to see, among the many challenges, right? It is wanting to, get into somebody else's heart and force them to transform. I don't know whether force is the right word, I'm so attached to the transformation as if I am the one who does what? Who makes it happen. Okay, I teach, this is coaching, right? When you coach, you are just coaching.
Yeah.
But for me, especially with my teens, I'm so attached. That's my greatest challenge. I'm so attached to the results.
Yeah. It's not just you. It's not just you. All of us. You know the thing, I always liken it to being a football coach. You can't kick the ball for your players. You can't.
Yeah, but you feel like you want to kick it for them.
You just want to get there, just kick the ball. You want to take their foot and just kick the ball for them, and you can't. And I think that's the hardest part, because you really get so attached. And you also get attached to a person's goals and their dreams and, their potential. Because as a coach, you see things that they don't see.
Yeah.
And that's the most painful part about coaching.
So what I'll be doing sometimes, what I find myself doing, even right now, just before our call, I had a one-on-one coaching session with one of the students who is in the cohort, but it's not part of the program. I'll be looking at them and I'm like, this one I need to see one-on-one, and I'll call them, come to my office, let's talk. And it doesn't, not at an additional cost, because I'm so like, why is this one not contributing? Why is this one not doing this? And then I'll call them to my office because I really, really want to see them go somewhere.
There's people on Instagram right now saying all coaches, we all struggle with the attachment. We struggle with, getting them to really get involved, do the work. Because that if you just get involved, you will get somewhere, you will achieve it, something will happen. How do you coach yourself, or do you have a coach who actually helps you deal with that struggle that you have?
I think at some point I just need to do what I can do. I have just told myself, you know what, Tumelo, you need to do what you can do and let God do the rest. Because what I have come to realize also is that people learn at different levels. In a classroom of students, maybe 20, there will be those who will grasp it. But you will plant a seed in them. And maybe over the years, they will remember that and then, act on what they learned many years ago. So that is what helps me to, kind of detach from the outcome, to say, you know what, I did my best and I am sure that these kids are listening and they heard me and I have deposited in them everything that I had in me to give to them. So I pray for them that let that seed that I planted in them continue to grow. You should hear me pray for my teens. Yeah.
I can see the smile that it puts on your face, that you truly, it's in your heart. It is something that has been given to you. It has been deposited into your heart, and that's why it comes out of you so easily. And what has been it doesn't have to be the biggest achievement, but for you, a personal win that you felt like, this thing was a good thing that happened for you?
I think the testimonials from the teens are those ones. They make me cry. They make me feel like, you know what, Tumelo, you're here on a mission. And yeah, I think that is that. Every time I hear a parent call or a teenager, say something that really they were, telling me that they're in this place and now they were here and now they are here. That is like a game changer for me.
Those are pinch me moments. Those are pinch me moments. I think I'll always speak about it because I'm a person who feels emotions later. Like I'm very delayed with my emotions, right? I'll see something, I'll be happy because I know I'm supposed to be happy in the moment, but I'll only feel it later. And we had a funnel weekend, and somebody gave a testimonial, and Nyaki was so happy she stood up and she started jumping. And I was like, that's how I feel. That's the physical manifestation of how I feel in my heart. Because that's literally how it feels. You feel this energy, you feel this happiness, you feel this someone did it, someone got it, and now they are just living in the full expression of just being loose from that thing. Because you can honestly see a person when they struggle from something, you literally feel like they're like this.
Yeah.
You feel
Because
like they are out it.
what you feel is also that, you know what, there's change in the society, there's change, even if it is just one child. What I am about, you know, as a somebody who is called to make an impact and transform the lives of teens, it's happening. It's happening one child per what? Yeah, that.
Mm. I think that's the beauty of a calling of being a coach.
Mm.
Every person who's a coach has been called to serve and to create transformations in whatever way. If you're a fitness coach, and the transformation you think you're making is not actually the transformation that you're making. I'll give you an example. A fitness coach, you think it's just the body. But in order for the body to change, there's so much in the mind and in the heart that has to change before the physical transformation actually happens. When you think, even in business, before the person makes money, there's self belief that we have broken through. There are traumas that we have with money. There's identity that we have tied to money or the lack thereof. There's the transformations we think we are making. There's actually something so much deeper than that we are working on. For a person to come into, for example, into ClubSheIs and say that, I just want to make 10,000 rand. And we're just like, no, our minimum is 35. I'm going to help you make 35,000 rand. That's what we want to do. And then there's an internal wrestle that this person does
Yeah.
already, just to say that me. And
Yes,
then
but
Nyaki and I, and then Nyaki and I say, no, you'll be a millionaire. They're like, no. And there's this wrestle that keeps happening. And
yeah.
this wrestle is a thing that causes self-sabotage. It's a thing that makes people just, you see it, it makes sense, but you're not going to do anything about it. And it's that resistance that we're always dealing with before the actual transformation happens. That war at the beginning is what you're really fighting with. And I think that's why you also then call a person in, because you can see that this person's resistance, it's not, it's before they can even get what I'm telling them in the session. There's another fight we have to fight. That's a deeper fight.
Exactly. Yeah, that's so true. Because, yeah, especially because they're teenagers, they're in a very interesting stage, né? So they will tell their parents, me, I'm not doing that thing. I don't need it. So immediately, even before they are enrolled into the program, there's resistance. Only few teenagers would welcome an idea of being coached on personal development. I don't need that, you know. But somehow, because their parents are their parents and they have the problem, I have a problem with my team who does this, I'm going to enroll them, whether they like it or not. I know they're coming from a background where they are forced to be in this program, and obviously, I have to expect resistance. So I must see how I can win them into loving the program. But by God's grace, a lot eventually are like, okay, I think I'm loving this, I'm loving this, I'm loving this. Yeah.
How do there's a part of coaching that I've seen for everybody where it's just like, I can't explain the transformation. I have a framework, but I think there's a lot of it that's not me. There's a part of it I don't think is me. I think I can do my very best. It's what you said. I can do my best as a coach, and then the rest I have to put it into God's hands, because you can have your framework, you can try your very best, but at some point you have to make room for the Holy Spirit to move.
Exactly. Because, for example, I have a module where I talk about decision choices, the power of choices, right? I will have something that I've written there, but sometimes I have said nothing out of what I've written. But the kids are like, And oh, okay. So we can prepare all we want, but we must engage, allow God to do what He has to do. Because sometimes it's not about the framework, it's not about anything. God knows what those kids need in that particular moment. And we just need to offer ourselves as vessels, not to stay stuck to what we think is the way to go. So we must release ourselves to say, okay, God, help me meet these children at the point of their need through me, right? So yeah, we must have frameworks is important, but at times we must just go with the flow as God leads us.
You touched on something as we start to close. You're a vessel. As a coach, you are actually a vessel.
Mm.
We're all vessels. But the
Yeah.
type of vessel that we are in this instance is that, the framework is how we present whatever it is that God has deposited in us. And for there to be structure, because as a coach, you cannot coach without structure. One of these
Mm.
sessions, we must talk about structure, because I think a lot of coaches come into the game thinking everybody's individual, everybody's different. I will see what they need and then I will.
No, because that structure, even Kopano, it must be deposited in you. You must know what message do I carry and how do I take out this message? How do I relay this message to my audience, right? Because there's so many team coaches, right? Team coaches who coach teams, but our message is different. What is your message, and how do you relay your message? Like your thing, signature.
Mm, mm. And everybody has their different way for a reason, as unique as your fingerprint.
Yeah.
That's why you can have so many NLP coaches, but they've
Mm.
all taken something different from it, and they
Yeah.
all have something. So we prepare as we can lead with godly intuition. Yes. If you don't have structure as a coach, you're literally you might just finish your entire coaching course and have led someone nowhere.
Yeah.
They've got nowhere in the entire thing. The point A to point B has not been reached. That person is still floating in the middle of nowhere.
Mm.
And that's the thing about being given an idea to coach. You went and got a qualification, like certification, with John. I always want to say the C, John Maxwell, the institute. What made you want to do that, and what was the benefit of you deciding to actually go get certification before you started coaching?
Okay, I got the certification in 29. I quit my job in 2018, right? And then out of the blue, I see an email in. I didn't know that the certifications or what. I see an email in my inbox. Hey, we want to talk to you about this. And then that guy calls me, and then we talk about this thing. But at the time, we were talking about leadership. John Maxwell is just a leadership.
Guys, the
We were
leadership, yeah.
leadership. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, I think I like it. But I tell this man that, you know what, but I am for parents. Don't you have anything that, can talk to parents and, parenting and everything? And he was like, at the moment, no. And I just enrolled anyway. And then I think about 2-3 months down the line, he now tells me, oh, Tumelo, good news. We have a coaching session now for certification now for parenting and family, you know. So that's how I also enrolled. So I have enrolled in both the leadership one and the family and parenting and family part of it. Yeah.
Nice. And how is your experience with that as well as being a CA? I don't think anything in life is lost. You might think I went from being a CA to coaching teams, and you think that, oh, my CA life was a waste. It wasn't. Nothing is ever lost. What
No,
benefits
nothing.
have you actually drawn from that in what you do now?
I think, when you are in corporate, you operate in structure, né? And analysis, you analyze governance, all those things, I carry them, the way to deal with customers, everything, they still find their way in what I do now. It may not be double entry, debit or credit, or, all those accounting things, but the skills that are non-accounting that I learned in corporate, I apply them in my business right now.
Mm-hmm. The University of Life. That's why they
University.
say that even if you don't use the degree at university, you learned how to complete. You know, you learn how to start and finish something. You still went to the University of Life.
Exactly. That's what I tell my boys all the time when they fight with me about education. Yes, so and so dropped off from college. I said to them, you know what? If you don't want that degree, please do it for me. Once we get the certificate, give it to me and go and do your stuff. I'll hold it for you.
I'll hold it until you need it.
I'll hold it until you need it. Yeah.
So my final question to you, Mme Tumelo, is what is the big goal for you? What is your next that you'd like to see in your coaching practice?
I want to see this coaching practice spreading its wings globally. And this particular thing, like I was saying, everybody has their own thing. I want my own thing that God has deposited in me to reach as many parents and teens as possible. That's my goal, ultimate goal.
The African footprint across the African continent and even beyond that. Mme Tumelo, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. Any message that you have for anyone right now who's kind of struggling with, finding a sweet spot in their coaching business?
Do it where you don't understand. Just do it. Keep going. You will find the way along the way. Sometimes for other people it takes 2 months, for other people it takes 2 years. So just go. You'll get it somewhere.
That's the most simple, most powerful message ever. Do it when you don't understand.
Yeah, just do it.
That's what we came for. We love it. Thank you so much, Mme Tumelo. Thank you to everybody who's joined us. We made it within lunchtime. Within lunchtime, you ate your food, you got served, and you also got a deposit of wisdom that we got from Mme Tumelo. So if you want to find out more about the conscious parent, Mme Tumelo is on Facebook, is on Instagram as well. Is your TikTok up?
Kind of, but I'm not on the.
And you're also on LinkedIn. So your handle, can you please share with us about your coaching services, where people can find you, and the type of products and services that you have for people?
Okay. Currently, I just do one product, just one. Built to lead. That's the program that I run for teenagers. It's a coaching program that takes 8 weeks. I was testing it. I think it's now going okay. And where do you find me? At Tumelo Leene in Instagram and the Conscious Parent on Facebook. LinkedIn, it's Tumelo Leene.
Love it. So I've put the handle in our chat. Thank you so much, good people. Hope you had an absolutely amazing time. People on Instagram as well as on LinkedIn and Facebook saying thank you so much, and they really enjoyed this session. We got so much from your Kabo as well, clapping your hands, being excited as well. People joining us on Instagram. Lindsay, thank you. Dr. Pompero, thank you. Nolo, Vanessa, thank you so much. Kihumuditwe also there. I've got a family member called Kihumuditwe, as well as so many people. Tulu Lord joining us from Facebook. Thank you to your motivational coach, Mklanga, as well as Leopelo joining us from LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. Have an absolutely amazing time, good people. Until next time. Bye.
Bye.